All right, so I'm making a little series here on how to run a buyer deal from start to finish and how to get paid. All right, so very beginning, we get a buyer, they call you, they text you, email, Facebook message, hey, I'm ready to buy a house. I want to go and look at a house. I saw this house on Zillow. I want to go and see it. What are the steps in buying a house, right? Any of those types of questions. So I'm going to just go over kind of the broad strokes here. I have lots of checklists, lots of materials that you've probably seen already or will see soon. Um, Tons of stuff that you can send your buyers that you can bring to meet with your buyers. For now, I'm going to save those for either other videos or just for our in-person and ongoing meetings. This is just going to be the basic steps on how to communicate with your buyer and what they need to do and what you need to do. What I would say is at a bare minimum in order to be compliant and in order to do a good job for your client. So your first step is to probably have a consultation with your buyer. And these are the criteria questions that I ask basically every buyer that I talk with. Very simple. I like to keep things as simple as possible, right? But I just kind of use these questions as a guide to the conversation. There's no real script to it or any type of crazy thing going on. It's just these simple 10 questions. What is your price range? And when they say my price range is 300,000, you might say, well, how did you come up with that price range? And they might say, oh, well, I want to keep my payment around 2,000 a month, and that's what Zillow told me. So that's really important to note because really people when they have a price range in mind, it's generally because they have a mortgage payment in mind. So that's a great question to ask them, and that could spark its own little conversation. So you're just going to go through these questions. Where are you looking? How many bedrooms? What do you need in a house? What do you want in a house? What could you sacrifice if you had to? Um, the most important question on here is, have you been pre-approved? Because while we generally start with a buyer consultation, buyers generally come to their agent first for their first, when they're just starting the process. Really, their first step should be to get pre-approved by a loan officer. So I'm sure you have some good recommendations by now. If you don't, reach out to me or anybody in the office. Reach out to Frank Garamone, get your people in touch with him, get them pre-approved. That is the first step. There are a ton of conversations to have with your buyers, a ton of reasons why they should get pre-approved first. Most importantly, you want to make sure that you're not wasting your time or theirs by going out and showing them homes when they're not pre-approved to buy a home in that price range or pre-approved at all. So again, broad strokes here, not going to get into that, but number one first step is to get pre-approved for a mortgage. So once you've asked your client these criteria questions and you've gotten them pre-approved, through a lender and you've got their pre-approval, at this point you are ready to go and show homes. So clients pre-approve, we're ready to go show some homes. At this point, before we show any homes, we want to come into command. We want to create an opportunity. So now that you've got an active buyer client, you want to create an opportunity, and that's going to be in the next video.